Another week, another huge slate of Texas high school football games in week 3 of the 2021 season. These are the picks. Welcome into the picks, your guide to Texas high school football weekend. My name is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you so much for tuning in, and welcome to my home office. Recording this on Labor Day. I'm working on the day I'm supposed to be off. But, Texas high school football doesn't sleep, and neither do we. We've got a huge slate of games everywhere you look across the Lone Star State in week 3 of the Texas high school football season. We start in Houston. 7 o'clock Friday night at Planet Ford Stadium in Spring. It is a big-time 6A Houston area clash as the Galena Park North Shore Mustangs take on the Spring Westfield Mustangs. What are the keys to this matchup? Key number 1, the new-look Mustangs. So Demetrius Davis is gone. He's off to Auburn, right? Shadrack Banks is gone. Zach Evans is gone. All of those players that we came to know as part of that remarkable run for North Shore are off to the next level, and in their place are this new crop of really talented players, guys like Xavier Owens, guys like Jalen Bailey, guys like David Amador. This is a new look Mustangs team that maybe for you guys and for us, it's going to take a while to get used to. But I know that John Kay, the coach at North Shore, has been really excited about this new crop of Mustangs. So far, they're 2-0. They've looked the part, but this may be their biggest test yet. So, just how quickly can these new-look Mustangs get up to speed? Key number 2, Colin Cardell. Let's talk about Cardell Williams, the Spring Westfield quarterback, who we probably just don't talk about enough. This guy's an absolute playmaker, a 3-year starter. The Tulsa commit is in complete command of this Westfield attack, and he has the full faith of Coach Matt Meekins and that coaching staff there at Westfield. He is the veteran quarterback in this game, which is strange to say considering he's going up against Galena Park North Shore. And by the way, he's got a big-time wide receiver on the outside in Chucky Hines that he has made his favorite target. This is a huge test. Going up against an absolutely lights-out North Shore defense led by 5-star blue chip prospect Denver Harris at the cornerback spot. So, can the senior signal caller step up on the big stage? And key number 3, a complicated history. So Westfield and North Shore are 2 of the most prominent Houston area Texas high school football programs, and they're no strangers to one another. This is the 9th meeting they will have since 2004. But Westfield's the team that owns the series advantage since 2004. They've won 5 of the 8 meetings with North Shore, and yet, don't you think they'd switch places with them, right? North Shore's got 3 titles in that span, 2015, 2018, 2019. They've been one of the best high school football programs in America over that stretch. Westfield doesn't have a title. They played for a title in 2004 and lost, but so Westfield has won the battles, but it's been North Shore that's gone on to win the wars. That said, when these 2 teams get together, it's always hard-hitting, it's always very physical. So, what happens when these 2 put their complicated history on the line again? Who am I picking? I'm going with North Shore. North Shore gets the edge in this one because of the strength of their defense, which has looked every bit the part of one of those vintage North Shore teams. I actually think this team reminds me of that 2015 Mustang State Championship team a little bit. Now, Cardell Williams is the game breaker in this one. He's going to have an opportunity to take over, and that veteran leadership is going to be so important. I think he's got to have time to operate behind that offensive line. I think the Westfield defense has got to take a step forward as well. I think this game is close as it tends to be when these 2 teams get together, but I think North Shore gets the win. Let's go up north, 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Eagle Stadium in Argyle. It's a matchup of 4A unbeatens as the Celina Bobcats take on the Argyle Eagles. What are the keys to this matchup? Key number 1, a different Eagles team. So if you watched the 4A Division I state champion Argyle Eagles last year, you probably came away thinking, boy, this is a high-flying offensive team. And you were right. C.J. Rogers was an outstanding quarterback, and they had weapons all over the field. I think this is a different Argyle team this year. Not worse, just different. They do have a good quarterback in Jace Robinson, but I think this is a team that is going to rely a lot more on their ground game, a big offensive line and a running game led by Peyton Shoemaker. This reminds me more of those Nick Ralston teams that won, of course, state championships. So, what does this new-look Argyle team look like in Week 3? Key number 2, War Daddies. Let's talk about Celina. And I haven't talked with Bill Elliott, the coach there at Celina, about this, but I think this is his platonic ideal of a football team because this team is huge up front and they mash. Whether you're talking about their defensive end, Wyatt Stevens, or their big center, Michael Reeves, this team is loaded in the trenches. And not just like really technically sound, although they are very technically sound. They're just huge. They push people around and they mash people. That's a big reason why they're 2-0 with two very, very impressive wins over Melissa and Paris in the early going. It's going to be up to these big war daddies up front to give Celina an edge. This is one of the few teams, I think, in the state that may have an opportunity to match Argyle's physicality up front. So, can the Celina big boys go to work? And key number 3, we're going streaking. Not really. We're going to talk about streaks, though. Perhaps you remember last week when the top 2 active regular season winning streaks went down on the same night. Allen losing to Omaha-Atascocita, snapping a 84-game regular season winning streak, and Denton Ryan losing to Denton Geyer, snapping their 60-game regular season winning streak. The new longest active regular season winning streak in the state? That's right. It's the Argyle Eagles, who won 58 straight in the regular season. But even beyond that, they have not lost a home game at Eagle Stadium since 2012. They have won 42 straight at home. So there's a lot of streaks on the line here, getting a huge challenge against a white-hot Celina team. So, will those streaks hold, or can Celina play spoiler again? Who am I picking? I'm going with Argyle. I don't pick against streaks. That's something you should know by now. But also, I think that this is an Argyle team that's already hitting mid-season form, especially with their running game with Landon Ferris and Peyton Shoemake behind that big offensive line. I think that's going to be the difference. I think they will have to throw the ball a little bit, and that's where Jacob Robinson, their quarterback, is going to have to step up. For Celina, I think the lower scoring the game, the better, and their big defensive front is going to have to be the difference maker in this one. Grind it out on the ground and use that big physical offensive line to push Argyle around. I think this game has a chance to be really fun and down to the wire, but I give Argyle the edge. Give me the Eagles. Let's stay in for a 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Nelson Field in Austin. It's a massive for a clash of unbeatens as Austin LBJ welcomes in Waco La Vega. And boy, this La Vega power running attack with Bryson Nolan and Najee Drakes, they have been terrific through the first 2 games, but have they been tested? They're going to go up against LBJ and get a test this week. And by the way, if you think that LBJ, just because they lost Andrew Makuba and Latrell McCutcheon, you thought they were going away, you're wrong. This team is here to stay. I think quarterback Oscar Gordon is a dynamo. I think this game's going to be a lot of fun. I do think that La Vega wears down LBJ and wins it late. Give me the Pirates. Let's go a little bit off the board. 7 o'clock Friday night at Panther Stadium in Normangee. It's a battle of unbeatens between the Normangee Panthers and the Chilton Pirates. I think this game has a chance to be a lot of fun. You know, Chilton got a scare in their opener against an improving Italy squad, and I think that they are really starting to hit the Jets, though. I think this is going to turn them around. Their quarterback, Dalen Ford, I think is special. I like Braylon Fisher at the running back spot. I think Normangee might have the juice, guys. I like this Panthers team a lot. Quarterback Isaiah Jones, I think, is a game breaker for them, has an opportunity to put them on his back. And this game's going to be a lot of fun. If you're anywhere near this, you should get to it. But I think Normangee comes away with a win. And 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Ranger Stadium in Spring Branch. It's a rather strange cross-regional matchup as the El Paso Eastwood Troopers travel to San Antonio to take on Smithson Valley. And this game is happening because Julio Lopez, the coach at El Paso Eastwood, likes to do this. He likes to get his troop out of El Paso and challenge them, and they're going to be in for a big-time challenge going up against this grinding, old-school Smithson Valley team with a fantastic running game with Travis McCracken and Malachi Lane. They are all running game and defense. This is the team from the 1970s. I mean, they are smash mouth, and they are fun to watch. Going up against Eastwood, and they're going to let it rip, guys, and they have some playmakers. Quarterback Andrew Martinez is fantastic. I really like this wide receiver, Aaron Rodriguez, as well. And this game could be really fun, and two teams that don't really know a ton about one another. But I think that's a long road trip for Eastwood. I give Smithson Valley the edge. But those are far from the only big games in Week 3 of the Texas high school football season. Let's get to the lightning round. I'm going with Windthorst over Archer City. Abernathy gets by Sundown, and Pleasant Grove bounces back with a win over Paris. I think Stephenville stays hot with a win over Salado. Matchup of surprise unbeatens. I think Baytown Lee gets a win over Lumberton. Give me South Lake Carroll in a close one over Prosper. Refugio gets by Edna. Brady takes down Coleman, and I'm going Port Arthur Memorial over Crosby. Round Rock gets by Cedar Park. I'm going with Cupper to get by Detroit, and I like Nederland over Silsbee. Lindsay bounces back with a win over Callisburg. Cuero's back, y'all. I like them over Yoakum, and give me Lake Travis in a close one over Rockwall. Katy over Dickinson. Edinburgh Vela over PSJA North, and I like Fort Bend Ridgepoint over Houston CE King. College Station gets by Magnolia. I like El Paso Riverside over El Paso East Lata, and give me China Spring over Brownwood. Hashtag Maximum Bears. I like Bridgeland over the Woodlands. Give me Lubbock Estacado and a squeaker over Canyon, and I'm going with Bernie Champion over Laredo United South. Beckville over Maud. Give me Magnolia West over Lufkin. And speaking of strange cross-regional matchups, I'm going with Austin Vandegrift over San Angelo Central. Monahan stays perfect with a win over Big Spring. I like Natalia over Universal City Randolph. And Amarillo takes down Canyon Randall. Port Lavaca Calhoun gets by El Campo. I like Rockdale over Lexington. And a high-flying shootout, I like A&M Consolidated over Converse Judson. I'm going with Thorndale over Centerville. And in a close one, I like Odessa Permian over Amarillo Tascosa. Wichita Falls Rider beats Midlothian in our six-man game of the week. I like Happy over Spring Lake Earth. And those are the picks. What am I wrong about? Which games did I leave out? Leave comments down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/DaveCampbells. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/DaveCampbells. And of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Thanks for watching. Enjoy week 3 of the Texas high school football season. We'll see you.